All right guys, Bo at ZZPerformance here. 3800 guys, it's what you've been waiting for. Our Equalizer Downpipe, check it out. What's cool about this is we designed it to work with our factory manifold and or our power logs. As for years we've known that the rasp in the bad sounding 3800 sound comes from the crossover and the unequal length of the exhaust pulses. So what we have done here, we have built a new Y-pipe style crossover, which brings the front bank and the rear bank together before sending it out the tailpipe. That's where we're getting that cool sound from, and it's working really well. A couple things that I would like to mention, considering how close this is now to your throttle body, intercooler, obviously something we love to use around here, or our phenolic spacer, just so you're gonna help gain a little clearance around the throttle body area. So if you come around to the back side of the engine here, stock manifold, block off plate, crossover, downpipe. It does require our TOG 2-bolt style downpipe, which will have your catalytic converter and made up to your cat back. A couple things to mention. Works real well with our short dog bones, helps gain a little extra clearance around the brake booster.
Hey guys, Alex at ZZPerformance. Bo just introduced you to our new 3800 Equalizer downpipe setup and crossover, and I'm going to give you a quick run through on how easy this thing is to install and how quickly you can be sounding pretty amazing. First of all, the installation, you want to install your block off plate on the rear of the manifold. Everything is included in the kit to get you going. The next step is to install the O2 block off bung. There's an O2 port on the next stage of the downpipe, so you won't be using this one anymore. Okay, once you've got the block off plate and the O2 bung plug installed in the rear manifold, we'll take the crossover, we'll take the 2-bolt flange with flare, slide it over, and you'll slide the donut gasket onto the crossover. Now we recommend you replace this when installing the Equalizer crossover, and we will also be adding these to our website soon. We'll then come over to the manifolds and we'll slot it in to the rear and we'll locate it on the front. You can just let it rest. Next we'll take our bolts and we'll slide them through onto the rear manifold. Remembering to leave everything loose until it's in the exact position that it needs to be. After you have the crossover placed on the motor, I like to center it up equally between the top of the bell housing and the intake silicone, and then you're ready to tighten it down. 2 bolts on the front and 2 bolts on the back. Ensure that you do them down equally on either side. Ensuring that the cone is nicely equally sitting on the manifold. All the hardware is included in our kit, so the nuts and bolts, block off plate and O2 bung plug is included. So you won't have to go searching for any other parts anywhere. It's important to remember to do these bolts tight before installing the downpipe, because access to them is much harder. It's okay for me whilst I've got a motor on the stand, but once you're in the vehicle, it's quite a lot tighter. Next, you'll be grabbing your 2.5 inch V-band clamp, sliding it over the crossover, grabbing your downpipe with O2 bung and putting that on next. Now, your alignment process for the downpipe will be slightly different than for me right now, as I'm just doing this on the engine stand. You'll want to ensure that you've got it positioned, that it lines up with your TOG or TOG downpipe, that you're clearing the dipstick, and that you're also clearing the block off plate on the rear manifold. Once you're happy with the position, you can fully tighten the 2.5 V-band clamp. So the final steps are to install the rear O2 sensor. You don't need an extension for this, as the position is so similar to the stock O2 position. And then to get underneath the car and do your 2 bolts up to your TOG downpipe. We're really impressed with this system. It's all designed and made in-house, done here on our CNC mandrel bender and fabricated by our guys here. It's a great quality part and we think you'll be really impressed with it.
As always, guys, compatible with stock manifolds and our power logs. Any further questions, contact customer service at ZZPerformance.com or myself personally, bo.c@ZZPerformance.com. Thanks for watching.